everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I edit my photos in Lightroom post session. So I'll jump straight into it and I'll show you the image we're going to be editing. So this is a before and after shot that I got on the last vlog. It was a 5-image sequence. So you can see here all the way through to this image. Now this image I think is the most interesting image, so we're going to be editing this one. Here's a before and after. That's what it looked like before. It's quite underexposed, but this is the final result. So I'll take you through my process. I try edit my images to look as natural as possible and as true to the eye as how I saw it on the day. So sometimes the camera cannot capture the exact colors on how it truly was during the session. So that's how I try edit my images. I don't try over correct them or over edit them. I just keep them quite natural. So I mean, this is subjective. This is what differentiates every surf photographer or every photographer. So I'll just take you through. This is a basic edit and I'll show you what I do. Okay, let's reset these and get rid of the before and after shot. So this is my original shot. So I'll take you through the sequence. So these images are all, that one was a bit overexposed. That's kind of an interesting image, but this is the image that we're going to be editing. So the first thing I want to do is, obviously you can see the horizon isn't level. So I just go to my crop tool and I try level off the image. So I'm looking here at the building over here and I'm aligning the lines with the building. So that's how I know that that's the vertical axis, if that makes sense. So there we go. So we've got a level off the image. You can see the curve of the wave. It's sort of sucking up a little bit, which looks kind of cool. So next thing I'll do is just adjust the exposure. So it's underexposed, which is good. Because I'm shooting in RAW, that means the highlights aren't overexposed, but the shadows are a bit underexposed, but the RAW file obtains more information in the shadows, so that's good. So we can just increase the exposure. I'm going to go up to, say, maybe 2 stops. So it's quite bright, but that's good. So then I just adjust the highlights, and so that tones down the highlights around here. You can see the sea spray coming off the wave, which is really good. Now there you can already see the colors back in the wave. This shadow area is a lot brighter. And then I just work my way down the list here. So I'd maybe bump up the shadows a bit just to brighten up this area down here. The whites I tend to leave alone normally, but I can increase them a bit. It just makes the image a bit brighter. And the blacks, and we can bring the blacks down a bit, just to give it a bit more contrast with this shadowy part down here. You can see here it's already changing. You don't want to go too much because then it looks, looks like that. It's oversaturated. So we'll just take it back up, go to about 30, maybe minus 30, about there. So the contrast, I haven't touched that yet. So I just see what the image looks like once I've adjusted all those dials. And the contrast, I might increase the contrast just a little bit. Clarity, I don't normally touch clarity. I'll maybe increase it just a little bit. That generally desaturates the image a little bit, but it also just makes some of the tones just to stand out a little bit more. Saturation for this image, I might bring it down a bit just to give it a bit of a softer look. It's a bit too much. And so if you zoom in, you can see the detail of the image. Now this was shot at ISO 200, which is pretty good. There's not a lot of noise in the image. I shot it at 105 mils, f5.6, 1/2000th of a second. Okay, let's have a look. As we go down, there's the tone curve. Now, before I touch the tone curve, I don't normally touch it, but it is a good idea to add just a slight curve either way. So that's sort of underexposing it, adding more contrast, and that's overexposing it. And these, I think this crushes the blacks. No, that's the highlights. I'm still learning about the tone curve and seeing what it does. So you can crush the blacks a bit. That makes it pop a little bit better. That doesn't look too bad. That looks quite good. But you can see down here I'm getting a bit of noise. See, there's some banding here and some noise. So we can fix that by just adding the noise reduction. You can take that to about 30 or 40, and that'll just get rid of the noise. There you go. Gets rid of the noise a bit. And sharpening as well. I can increase that a bit there too. So there already we're getting, the image is looking great already. That's really good. So lens correction, so remove chromatic aberration and enable the lens profile. So that just, you can see there, it just takes away the distortion of the lens. There's not much because we're at a longer focal length at 105, but it just, it makes the photo look a bit more natural, true to the eye. And that's pretty much all the settings that I would change. I know a lot of photographers, they do change a lot of other options. I can dive into the color as well, but I find it really hard to adjust the color because there's mainly blues and turquoise and aqua colors, so there's not too much to adjust there. And the temperature, so this was shot in summer, so obviously we can increase the temperature of the Kelvin up a bit. That's a bit too much. Let's take it back a bit. It was a very warm day, the water's warm, so we'll keep it there, I think. And the tint, you don't want it too green because there's a lot of turquoise in this image. So you could even go a bit on the +14 to the magenta side. And then you have it. That's pretty much a basic edit. I keep it fairly natural. I don't change too much of the colors. The next thing I do is obviously I might crop it to different ratios. So 4:5 for Instagram, or even keep it square. I usually just, as shot, I usually just export it like that, and then I crop it in on my phone when I post it onto Instagram. So yeah, I hope you found that useful. So yeah, I hope you found that interesting. I might do a few more of these edits, and I'll show you some other techniques that I use to edit my surf photos. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe and like this video, and I hope to see you out in the water next time. Cheers.